remember, a trade secret exists if it has independent economic value, it's a secret, and the owner takes reasonable measures to keep it secret. Remember, dividing up the pieces of the puzzle. An unreasonable measure, for certain, would be to put any of your trade secret information into any AI tool. At the moment that happens, the value of your trade secret goes to zero. So if all of a sudden somebody that works at TikTok decides to throw in all the code for TikTok's content generation algorithm, the value of that trade secret, which is a multi-billion-dollar asset, goes to zero, because now it can be easily reverse engineered. That's why trade secrets they're a growing IP asset class, because data can be protected via trade secrets. But it's a difficult asset class to deal with because you have to be very, very intentional about it. It's like I said, it's not just an NDA. It's also not just dividing up the pieces of the puzzle. It's also training your employees about what trade secrets are, right? It's about potentially putting together technical blocks, right? Not everybody gets access to all of your Google Drive documents. Not everybody gets access to all of your data that you have about customers. So it's a growing asset class, but in some ways, it's often the most neglected asset class, but can also be the most valuable asset class. What you certainly don't want to do is, if you've identified trade secrets in your business, you've identified relevant, confidential company data, you don't want to then go pull all your company's data into Gemini or Claude or GPT and say, organize it for me. That's not a reasonable step to protect your trade secrets. So AI and trade secrets, they don't really mix. They're not at the moment. I'm curious to see what tools come up that help businesses in the age of AI protect their trade secrets. That's going to be really interesting, I think, over the next several years.